Welcome back to BK42. Today I have the pleasure of having with me Cedric, the mind behind the Microblast e-bikes, which are one of the most desirable e-bikes in the market right now. And we want to talk about everything from the production to the customer services.
Yeah, just like as a casual conversation,
Casual
right?
conversation.
Yeah.
Thanks for
No, thank you. Thank you for having me today with you. It's a real pleasure, man.
It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you. I've been following your channel for quite a while and I love what you do. So once again, real pleasure to be here with you today.
I appreciate that.
And I just wanted to have a casual, conversation, of course, about e-bikes. I can, of course, if you want, I can introduce to you a bit of Microblast to start with.
Yeah, first of all, I want to know a bit more about yourself, about you.
Okay.
Your background.
I'm French, but I have been living in China for almost 20 years of my life.
Well, I guess you can speak Chinese then.
Yeah, I do. I mean, 如果你在国内的话，就不说普通话，是一点都不方便。So I think it's just like, it makes sense to speak Mandarin if you want to stay in China for some time. And of course, it's helping me a lot with the business because I have now actually my own factory in China, assembly factory in China. We also have one part of the assembly made in Portugal, but most of the key process is still handled in China. So I created actually Microblast in 2016.
And which one was the first bike?
First bike we put together was the Greaser. The Greaser always remained like the first,
The first son.
Yeah, the first son. Yeah, exactly. I decided actually to start the brand with a bike like the Greaser because I really want to get into this industry, like the electric bicycle business. But at that time, it was already like a very established business in many countries. So I wanted to get into this with something unique, something very special. And myself, I'm like crazy about the retro, vintage, that's part of me. So I said, okay, I will try to put a bike together with this, this design, this spirit, on the bicycle. So I wanted the bike actually to look like a retro motorcycle. Because I think also for a lot of people actually, when you really want to ride a real retro motorcycle, it's pretty challenging. But if you have like this product being an electric bicycle, then you don't even need a drive license. It makes it very easy actually.
No insurance.
Yeah, no insurance. And you can just sell them in many countries. Because many countries actually they are pushing this industry. The idea was to start actually to launch the brand through this specific product, the Greaser. That's what we managed to do actually. And we had the first productions in 2017 and we managed actually pretty fast because we launched the brand in Australia. So for us, the brand is Australian, of course. And we managed to win the Good Design Award with the Greaser pretty fast. And then we had a second Good Design Award with the second model of the range called the Outsider. Was very happy actually. Of course, it's such a good recognition, from the industry to get this kind of award.
Yeah, and one thing I want to talk about, because I've seen a video regarding the production of the Greaser, and it's really nice. You treat like producing a new car, and you are working on it. We're gonna be showing that while we are talking, but it's really nice that the whole process. How long it took for you from the beginning to the end? You said that was quite fast, but
it took us about 1 year to have the first prototype ready to get into mass production. After that, once we were ready to go to mass production, we started to really put different importers in different places in the world. And the start was very, very good because the first feedback we had, it was like, okay, we love the bike, but the only negative point, on riding such a bike, many people said this to us, they said, you gotta be social. Why? Because when you ride, the Greaser outside, you go to grab a coffee, with the Greaser.
It's a head turner.
Yeah, it's a head turner. So you gotta be social because people are going to ask you, oh, what is that? You know, is it a motorcycle? Is it an electric bicycle, an electric motorcycle? So yeah, you gotta be ready. Yeah, you just have to talk to people. And if you don't want to talk to people,
don't get that.
Yeah, just don't get on Greaser.
Yeah, and actually it's a great base for like my viewers. They love customizing bikes.
Yeah.
And the Greaser is a perfect base if you want to work around.
Yeah.
The bikes.
Yeah.
The bike looks already fantastic, but if you want to make
even
definitely.
On your own style. We had some crazy guys, you know, working on the Greaser, and yeah, we can show that also. You know, I can show you some of the best, you know, customization we saw, you know, over the years.
And after that, which one came along? What was the second?
Actually, the brand where we launched the brand in Australia, so pretty fast actually, and pretty, I would say, naturally. We had to go with a beach cruiser, you know, because they really have this beach life, you know, over there. We decided to put a bike called the Vaquet, which is more like a, you know, cruiser kind of bike, different riding position. Yeah, that was the second bike we put into the range of Microblast. And then after that, quick after that, actually, we felt like we wanted to come back to some kind of motorcycle style, you know, after the Greaser, because the beach cruiser was like, I mean, of course, it's also the design is very specific to the brand, you know, in terms also of color combinations and details we put on those bikes, you know. But I wanted to come back to the motorcycle side of the, you know, the design. So the third bike was the Outsider. Today we have a lot of declinations of this Outsider, you know, with different different versions, I would say. And the last one we launched actually this year is the Pony Boy that we have with us today. It's a bit different approach, you know, when we decided to put this bike on the market, the Pony Boy, because this industry has changed quite a lot actually over the past 2 years, I would say. Basically post-COVID actually situation. Because during COVID, actually, a lot of people, they wanted to have an electric bicycle. So it was kind of an explosion of the demand, you know. People, they were locked down, you know. People, they were not able to travel like they did in the past. So they turned into like, okay, I want to have something to have fun around the place I'm living. And some of them also, they decided also to get on an e-bike because they were afraid actually to take a public transportation, you know, because of the virus. So actually, the COVID has boosted a lot the sales of the e-bikes. It was very challenging actually because the supply chain has struggled a lot, you know, during the COVID. So people and a lot of importers, they decided actually to probably overstock, you know, many of the bikes they wanted to sell. But after the COVID, actually, you know, and still now we can experience inflation, you know, in many countries, a recession in many countries. It's putting a lot of people in challenging situations where, you know, going to the grocery today is it's something challenging for many people. So the market is changing. Why? Because some other brands actually, and a lot of new brands. I'm seeing a lot of new brands, you know, coming out of just nowhere, you know, coming with like very, very aggressive, you know, price, especially with the sales online. I see a lot of, you know, new bikes popping up, I would just say. New brands, you know, a lot. Yeah. And they are very, very aggressive, you know, with the price policy. So for us, you know, we've been always selling bikes, you know, around 2 to 3 plus, you know, euros, or even in, I mean, US dollar would be the same, you know, 2 to 3,000 US dollar bike. We saw a lot of bikes, you know, pushed, you know, aggressively in the market for 1,500. And even now for less than 1,000 euros or 1,000 US dollar.
And how is that possible?
How is that possible? I'm still wondering myself, you know, but I'm asking myself, you know, questions, you know, that you guys also can ask yourself the same questions, you know. And just, you know, I will come back actually to this specific topic and I will try to explain to you why I feel a bit like confused, concerned, you know, and yeah, concerned, of course. Yeah, we decided to put this kind of bike into the market. I will call it like an entry level. Of course, keeping in mind that we didn't want to do like just a non-quality bike. We wanted to do something more affordable. So it's a strategy from
but keeping the quality, like
of
the
course,
Michael Bless quality.
always.
And design,
also design, quality, and after-selling service, which is the very three key points, we always focus on. But to be able actually to propose a bike with a more competitive price, the strategy was to involve with us also all the distributors, okay? And us as a manufacturer, first of all, to make the decision to work with very low margin, okay? Just to be able actually to put the price, on the market, the best affordable, I would say, call it like this, the very affordable price, making sense, for the end users, okay? So we talk a lot with the distribution network, and we try to explain to them that we wanted to actually push, in this direction to also attract a different audience. So keeping the quality in place, keeping the design in place, and like I said, the after-selling service in place, we said, okay, we need a bike that we will be able to sell for 1,500 euros without accessories. But we wanted also to create a very good range of accessories around the bike to let people actually customize, the bikes around their needs. Okay, some people,
my experience with the Pony Boy, I was really surprised. Since I opened the box, just out of the bed, I could touch the quality. It was amazing. I was not expecting that, because I've been unboxing many different bikes. And bikes are on the same price, but the quality, when you touch the bike, the body painting is just amazing. Everything I can see that someone was taking care of. It's not just sent to the factory and okay, let's put in the market. And as well, I feel that it is still under development. Probably another versions will come with suspension, because some people were talking about suspension, but it's the first model, right?
That's the first version the first version ready for this year. We are working also on version 2 also for next year. We are going to implement actually next year new colors. We wanted actually to start with something a bit different. Like I said, the idea was to catch a different audience with this bike. Also because of the size of the bike, it was a different actually strategy from the company. And once again, because you are talking about the experience when you unbox the bike, the quality is there. Why? Because we didn't want to cut on the cost and say, okay, we don't need to have a good painting, we don't need to have a good welding, we don't need to have a good motor. No, this was not the direction of this project. The direction was okay to involve the distribution and let them understand that we will make efforts on reducing actually the margin we take, just to have the bikes out and just to compete also with all those popping up brands, from out of nowhere and trying to sell bikes for 1,000 euro, or for less than 1,000 euros.
So correct me if I'm wrong, just to clarify, as I understand, you want to put a great product to make your brand even more popular, to show people what you are capable of.
I want people to ride this bike, to understand actually
what can be done.
What can be done also, and because the best way actually to sell bikes, and to spread the brand, is to have more people, able to ride one of your bikes. It's like in the car industry, you will always also have, the entry level, I will call it like this. But the entry level, for example, is not necessarily, the one made of bad quality. Okay, so that's the strategy behind actually this kind of product, and we are happy because it's working actually, and we managed, of course, to have like young students. It's 1,500. I mean, it's still some money, but it's not 3,000 to put on a bike. Okay?
But
and you still have a lot of I mean, you've been reviewing this bike, so you know what it is. I'm pretty concerned actually about new electric bicycles coming in the market, But I mean, I'm saying cheap, but for me, cheap doesn't make any sense. Why? Because maybe what's cheap for you is not necessarily cheap for me. What is very important is to understand what you have behind the price that you see. Okay? If you want to understand the cost of one bike, it's very difficult. You are not working in this industry. If I ask you what it costs actually to have a frame, welded in China and painted in China, for example, do you know? No, you don't know.
I have no idea.
Maybe if you check, in Europe, you can call some suppliers. You can understand pretty quickly what would be the cost of, welding a frame and the cost of painting a frame. Okay, so that's something you can understand. But if I ask you to estimate the cost of a bicycle, I mean, it's very difficult for you to project yourself. How can you do that? Okay, you cannot do that. Let's take the figures on a different way. What you can very easily understand, it's some of the costs that you have to pay in any cases. Let's take, for example, a bicycle that you will see online for 800 euros or 800 US dollars. Okay, let's take this figure. 800 euros with free shipping, delivery to your door. And trust me, today you have a lot of bicycles, offered at this price, okay? We are in Europe. If you take the average of the VAT that everybody has to pay in Europe, okay? VAT average will be in Europe 20%. Okay, so you take 800 euros and of course you deduct 20% of that, okay? Because this is going to governments. So this is something that you can understand that, it's not part of the cost of the bike, it's something that everybody has to pay. And they said to you that you will have free shipping. If you try, those electric bicycles, they come like,
they're
quite
big.
some big boxes, right? You've been receiving quite a lot. Good boxes,
Yeah.
And when you pay 800 euros a bike, delivery to your door, it's also coming in a big box, right? How much it costs to ship a bike? I don't know. Do you have any idea, for example, from Warsaw to another city in Poland?
I guess at least 50 euros by the size. At least.
At least
The same
50 euros.
country.
Okay, same country. Let's consider 50 euros, okay? It makes sense. You can dig into this, but of course it will cost 50 euros. So you have 800 euros. You deduct the VAT, let's say 20%, okay? So we take down 160, yeah? And then the shipping from the warehouse to the door of the customer, another 50. So, yeah, right? And then after that, what do you have to pay? Because people, when they pay online, they have to use their credit card, right?
Right, it services taxes.
So depending, on the solution you will choose, you also have one fee over there, okay? Another fee that you have to understand, and that's everybody will have to pay. Many components, they still come from China or Taiwan, okay? So those components coming from China or Taiwan, you still have to ship them to Europe. The very small, the 20-feet container, it will cost you 5,000 US dollars, okay? Depending on what you will put inside, plus when the container will arrive at the port, you also need to ship this container to your warehouse. Yeah. And you also need to pay some taxes,
clearance,
okay?
Yeah.
If you don't put, 200 euros for every single bike you want to produce, you cannot make it happen. Why? Because all the fee related to that's what it takes, actually. So we already have 800 as a base. I deduct 200, for the logistic from Asia and all the assembly, taking into consideration its assembly, out of China. We have the shipping fee from the warehouse here in Poland, for example, to the door of the customer. We have the fees to pay the credit card, okay? So make the math. How much left do you have, actually,
To build a bike.
to build the bike? And this is something you can easily understand. And if you have like 300 to 400 euros, okay, left to build the bike, ask yourself how much it costs a push bicycle. How much you can get, like the cheapest one in the market today. If you go like to the big stores like the
$500?
I think you can get one for less than this, okay? But that's only the cost of the bicycle itself. I'm not talking about the battery. I'm not talking about the motor. What do we call an electric bicycle, basically? It's a normal bicycle. And you implement this with a few key components, which are a motor, a battery, a controller, a display, and a charger, because you need to recharge your battery. So those are 5 key parts that will allow you to transform, basically, your normal bicycle into an electric bicycle. So you have 5 components only, and they have to be like worth a few hundred euros, like 300 to 400 euros. You can do something. You check online. You Google like electric bicycle battery. When you want to buy only one battery, how much it will cost you?
$300, $400 a good one.
Yeah, maybe
Even more.
maybe you can find cheaper, but I mean, for less than 200 euros.
Yeah,
I don't know where you can find a battery.
Not a safe one for sure.
And when you do the same with a motor, so when you check 800 euros, 1,000 euros, free shipping,
Yeah,
to your
it's
door.
not matching.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about the after-selling service, because you will have to pay also people to handle this part of your business. So, yeah, that's why actually the industry right now is a bit challenging actually for established brands. Why? Because you see, like I said, so many offers popping up, here and there. And for me, it's a nonsense. So of course, it's not like, it's everybody will want to buy this kind of bike. But to be honest, it's something that pushes us actually to go through this new strategy. Even if it's not, of course, it's 1,500, it's not 800. But I'm telling you, for 800, you know what you can get, make the masters.
Yeah.
That's why we wanted to do, this kind of product this year. And we will keep this kind of products, into the range. Even if we also have, like for next year, new products, under development. But yeah, once again, that's something I wanted to talk to you because I know that you are reviewing a lot of bikes. And you can feel sometimes the difference from one to another, okay? And I think it's also one very big concern about, the battery itself and the quality of the battery. I don't know if you remember those overboards, Mm-hmm. They were so popular, for, I don't know, a few years ago, It was like the perfect, the Christmas gift, Everybody wanted to have an overboard. And at the beginning of this industry, it was really very, very, very exciting business, Very promising business because it was cool, very cool product, right? If you go today, you run a very good channel on YouTube, If you go on YouTube and you check like overboard, explosions, it's crazy. It's plenty of them. Why? Because people after that, they wanted to go like super cheap. And that's at some stage, the only way to go cheap, it's to play around, and to mess around with the quality. But when it comes to electric products, you don't want to put people in danger. In New York State right now, if you don't have a specific certification on your batteries, then you cannot sell the bikes, which makes sense, because we also want to protect also the end users. I'm not trying to propose a bike like with a more competitive price, but I don't want to put people in a situation where they will eventually have a fire, at home. What we are going to propose to end users, technically, we are going to implement the bikes with different options, okay? Why? Because this is also actually, it's a fact right now. Even entry-level bikes or cheap bikes, for example, they come with front suspension, rear suspension. They come with a lot, on the paper, when you read the specifications,
it's beautiful.
You have it all, you have everything you can expect as an end user. Hydraulic brakes, suspensions. So for us, we've been always focusing, to be honest, on the design of the bikes, on this lifestyle. And we realized actually that a lot of people, they are very sensitive to those, specifications, like I said. For me, it's better not to have a rear suspension than a bad one. Yeah, but that's only my, my point of view, okay? Many of the end users, when they scroll on the internet, and they check this offer, that offer, they check, oh, this bike has a rear suspension. Maybe I will go for that one. So that's what we will do actually. We will also start basically next year to propose also bikes coming with a rear suspension, front suspension. For example, this Ponyboy also will come also with the front suspension option next year. We have also in our range the product that we sell actually pretty well called the Outsider 5.0 with 5 inches tires. We will also propose a version next year with the rear suspension. And in terms also of proactivity, I will call it like this, to make the bike more convenient to use. We will still actually implement more and more accessories to go around the bike. And also on the way to recharge the bicycle, we will make actually the option to put the battery at different position on the bikes. And also to propose what we call dual battery, options, because we also realize that a lot of people now, they really like to go super far away with their bikes, which is good actually. But you need to propose them actually to have enough range with a single charge. That's the direction, what we take. We are adding actually into the strategy, like, okay, what are the specifications we need to propose to customers? And always, of course, keeping in mind that we need to focus also on this, the DNA of the brand, like the retro style, the vintage vibes, and the lifestyle. So that's, what we are working on right now.
Sounds great. And then people will be able to configure the bikes on their website, or how is it going to work?
Actually, the idea we have actually for next year is we want to propose like a base model, and from that base it's going to be a new frame. And from that frame, you will be able actually to play around with different configurations and make the bike yours.
All right.
I want 2 batteries. You put 2 batteries. I want only one, but I want the battery to be placed in this position because there I prefer to have a bag. I prefer to have a front pannier, a rear rack, whatever. Yeah, that's what we are working on right now.
Oh, that's nice.
So of course, once we will give you one to review for sure.
I have a lot of viewers in Brazil as well. They always ask me about the Greaser, and they are in love with the 5.0. Do you have any plans to expand out of Europe?
Because you're talking about Brazil, because you always make your videos also in English, but you can speak Portuguese, right?
Portuguese and Spanish and Italian.
Yeah, so I think it's time also for you to actually make some content and speaking different languages.
Actually, I have a
think you
second
should
channel.
do that.
I have a second channel in Portuguese. The
Okay.
name is Giro Elétrico.
Okay.
And very soon I will be talking about the Pony Boy in Portuguese. I want to make a
I think
complete review.
that's very cool.
And how do you approach it going to the South America? You have any plans to expand the business out of
actually
Europe?
we have a trip scheduled end of October. I want to visit this market. I want to understand also, when you want to push on a specific market, you need to visit the market. You need to talk to dealers. You need to understand what people actually expect when it comes to electric bicycle. So we will probably also try to adapt some of the bicycle we produce, something a bit different, specifically for this market. And that's part of the projects we have also for next year to be stronger in this part of the world. Yeah, definitely.
And I understand that also with the bring to new markets, you are considering the after sales, like the services, right, for your bikes.
For us, from the beginning, just from it's just, I've been working also before the electric bicycle industry. I've been working, on the motorcycle industry, on the scooter business, on the ATV business. I've been doing this for 20 years of my life already. When you start this kind of projects, the first thing you have to ask yourself is how I'm going to solve the after-selling service. Because you cannot just produce the bikes. You have to put a system in place where they can service their bikes. That's why from the beginning also, we wanted to work with a network of dealers going online only. Of course, when you work with partners distributing your bikes, they have the experience. They know how to repair. They know how to make the maintenance. And when it comes to the spare parts itself, we stock all the parts, always. Of course, we will have, in some cases, a specific components that one dealer in a specific place in the world, he doesn't have these spare parts. No problem. We will just ship it out from the factory. So it will take few days, to go to the place. And that's, like I said, it's just number one priority for the company. And that's how also you can manage to keep the brand, years after years after years. Every single, experience are different. But trust me, that's the number one focus, We know how to do after-selling service.
Yeah, and you are very confident offering 5 years warranty in the frame and 2 in the battery. It's not usual. I said on the Pony Boy review that's something completely unusual. 5 years the frame.
Yeah. I mean,
you are very confident.
Yeah, we are confident. But it's like I said, it's like you wanna do this or not. I mean, you cannot, like I said, just think that you will produce a bike, try to sell the bike, and not realize that you really need a team in place to handle the after-selling service. That's how you survive on this business.
Okay, I think we understood a bit more.
Thank you for having
the
me
mind
today
behind the Michael Bless.
Yeah. It's like you know, I've been always myself, you know, with the team, you know. And I hope like, you know, the bike we do are always, you know, in the same spirit. It's just trying to give pleasure, you know, to the end users and to the partners we work with. And let's keep it, you know, this way for...
Keep up the good work,
yeah,
because it has been amazing so far.
Thank you.
I'm really happy with the Pony Boy.
Thank you.
And now we are going probably for a ride, just to
yes, of course.
check
and
this bike.
Yeah, and the weather is perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Thank you very
again
much
for having me.
Very good having you.
Good pleasure.
Cedric, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.